Alrighty. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hopefully there will be everybody's in the plural, because that would be nice if at least 2 people came, but has made these streams before. Yo, Tiki, wow. You must have been waiting on the internet for me specifically. You must have just been like, just you wait. Just you wait any minute now. How are you doing today? Oh, and Kateria Games too. Welcome back, both of you. How are you both doing today? I'm actually doing really good today. I made a new friend at the lake the other day when my cousins came over. Banjo-Kazooie is coming to Switch, so I dressed for the occasion. And I might be getting a new job pretty soon. Of course, nothing with jobs is certain, but I'm being particularly optimistic for this one because how do I word this? Let's just say that I have certain circumstances in my life that require me to have a little bit of assistance in certain matters. One of them involves jobs. And so my case manager is really helping me out with this. But of course, at the end of the day, I still have to actually be able to do the job. And I happen to be very good at cleaning. So he says he's going to try to help me get a job at a gym where I get to wipe down the machines and all that. And that just sounds like paradise because, again, I'm a very janitorial type person. Uh-oh, did my microphone go out? Can you guys hear me now? That's weird. It says my microphone went out. Let me know if you guys can't hear me. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. So anyway, what's been going on with you? What's the latest cool thing in your life? Alrighty, well, good to know that you can still hear me. Oh, that's another thing I want to ask you, Tiki. Thank you, Kateri. Do you want me to call you by your other name, or do you just want me to keep calling you Kateri? Because if people want to be called by a certain name, I'll oblige by that. As long as you guys don't ask me to be politically correct, I'll call you by whatever you want. Sadly, if I had dance, I would have been so happy. What do you not like about dance? Also, Tiki, I want to hear your opinions on the Nintendo Direct. Like, what did you think about some of the announcements, especially what did you think about Banjo? Because I feel like I was one of the only people excited. Then I saw Miss Clicks Gaming's reaction, and oh my gosh, can she scream? Those female vocal cords are something else. Bruise yourself? That sounds more like karate than dancing. What exactly are you doing that's going to make you bruise yourself? I should have known you'd be excited about Splatoon 3. That does seem like your kind of game. Personally, at that point, I was kind of zoning out because I was so happy about Banjo that I was kind of just like, Nintendo, you're killing me here with all this great information. Please stop the broadcast so that I can... I think I was also excited. Okay, I'll call you Caitlin then. Not a problem. Speaking of which, Caitlin, thank you so much for following me on Twitter. I know I don't expect everyone to be on Twitter, but it is nice that you guys actually want to hear what I have to say. And that's nice because on my Facebook page, I usually have very profound sayings, you know, because I think about things a lot. Like throughout the day, I constantly have like thoughts about like how life should work and how my life is going and perspectives on people. But Twitter only gives you so much to work with. But because of those limitations, sometimes I use that to announce what my channel's doing, and it gives you guys a chance to rebel. So if you're like, oh no, Paul, you're doing Let's Plays, you can just go ahead and complain about it. I'm glad you and I are on the same page there, Tiki. Yes, I also thought the Nintendo Direct was amazing. I actually think, because I've been watching Nintendo Direct since probably since they started appearing in like I think 2013 was the first one. This was, in my opinion, the best Nintendo Direct they ever put on, besides possibly the one in E3 2019. But I consider that to be separate than a Direct. I consider that to be an E3 presentation. I think Banjo alone did it for me, but I also just think I also just think there's all sorts of people. Like, yes, the Kirby game. They had Kirby, they had Metroid, they had Bayonetta, Banjo, Mario a little bit, and you'd have to be like getting your expectations sky high to be disappointed by that. Like you had to have specifically said, if it doesn't have Breath of the Wild 2, then I am therefore not going to like this Direct. You'd have to be like one of those kinds of people. I came in with an open mind, so that really helped me. People thought the Kirby game was Splatoon 3? What is that what people actually said, or were you like part of a live stream? Because I didn't think that. I thought that it was going to be a Smash reveal. Because when it says game footage not final, I'm so used to Smash reveal trailers saying that. Oh, and by the way, you guys are ghosts again. Because my feed up there says that 0 people are watching this, but yet your responses are coming in. So yay for YouTube, saying that you guys are ghosts and I'm a mute. Hilarious how that happens. Just 2 what, Caitlin? Just 2 people? I mean, there's 2 of you right now, but you mean two Splatoon games? Well, you're not ghosts anymore. As soon as I said that you were ghosts, now it says that both of you are here, so I don't know. Well, there's currently 2 Splatoon games, but then Splatoon 3 is coming sometime in 2022, which I'm not particularly a Splatoon fan. Like, I like the concept, but I'm bad at shooters. But I think it's cool that they're putting a second Splatoon on the Switch. And if I had to take a guess as to why, I think it's because Splatoon 2 was damage control for how Splatoon 1 was on the Wii U, and hardly any people bought the Wii U. So they're like, let's just hurry up and get a Splatoon game on the system so that the Switch can be relevant. And Splatoon 3 is going to be like, okay, let's not just make this a better version of Splatoon 1. Let's make this a genuine step up. Kind of like how Star Allies felt like another Kirby game. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land feels like a giant leap forward in like what Kirby can do. Because Kirby's never been in 3D. Some of his spin-offs have been, but there's never been a core 3D Kirby game where you can move around in a traditional setting. Well, Splatoon, I'll admit that Splatoon is better than most shooters. I'm just not very good at it. Congratulations, Tiki! Happy birthday! I wouldn't recommend saying your age on this stream unless if you're turning 18, because you know how creepy people can be. But congratulations regardless. I wish I could get you something special, but I didn't have time to prepare, so I can just maybe I'll do a very vague Twitter post or something like that. Well, what fun things are you planning on doing for your birthday? Also, do Japanese people have birthday cakes? Like, I always thought that was more of an American thing. Like, what do you guys typically do for your birthdays? My birthday isn't until April, so you guys have quite a ways to go. I have to really conserve my water today because someone forgot to fill up the water pitcher. So unless if I want lukewarm water, I gotta enjoy this while it lasts. Okay, that's nice that you have birthday cakes. Oh, you have to head out, Tiki, or are you just saying that you have to get ready for dance on your birthday? Caitlin, when is your birthday by any chance? I think that's something that's really cool about humanity that we don't talk about enough, is that every single person in the universe has a birthday. And so one day a year, someone can feel like all of their friends are celebrating like their special time that they entered the world. You're an April baby too. Mine's April 20th. Oh, that's so cool. Actually, I think my niece was born sometime around April 3rd. I think her birthday was actually April 9th. But so pretty close. Dang. I wonder if they say that April babies have like certain traits, because I know some people believe in the whatchamacallit, the astrological signs, and they say that like people born in April are the bull or something like that. I never quite got into all of that. I mean, if it's real, then okay, but I also think part of it could just be a coincidence. Like, I'm sure there are thousands of people that are born in April that are stubborn like a bull, but that doesn't mean they're stubborn like a bull because they were born in April. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of stubborn people born in other months of the year, too. One thing that's cool about being an April baby for me is that I never know what to expect for the weather, because April's in that really weird time where I live, where it's like trying to make up its mind whether it's still going to be winter or if it's going to get closer to spring. So there have been years where it's still snowing and I've had my jacket. There are years where I'll have a short sleeve shirt on and I'll be frolicking around in a sunny field. Then there'll be years when it's raining. So I can never perfectly rely on April. What are some of the highlights of being an April baby for you, Caitlin? I would be very curious to know if you like it or dislike it. So on an unrelated note, while I'm waiting for you to type, um, I thought you would be glad to know that, shoot, I totally forgot my train of thought. I'll give more time to type. Oh yeah, I finally played another video game that actually disturbed me, which is saying something because I'm generally very thick-skinned, but this game was just a little bit too much for me. It's called After Party, and it's from the perspective of two college kids who went to hell, but they don't remember dying. But they're told that their punishments can wait, and I forgot why, but like they have one extra day where they're not being punished. And then they're told that like if they can outdrink Satan, then they can escape their punishment altogether. But man, some of those punishments were gruesome. I don't even want to mention some of them. Like I feel like that would be just way too inappropriate for my channel. But it disturbed me because as a Catholic, obviously I believe that hell is real. I don't know whether or not people actually go to hell. That is not revealed by public revelation. So it's possible Jesus may be able to save everyone from hell. I don't know. But hell is real, and people do get punishments for eternity. And I just thought to myself, well, they're trying really hard to be a game. So a lot of these punishments are supposed to be exaggerated. But what if they're not? Like, what if there are actually people in hell that are suffering from these types of horrific things happening to them? That just disturbed me so much that there could be someone so bad that that could happen to them for all of eternity that I just stopped playing because I just didn't want. I didn't want to think that anyone could have such a fate after death. Oh, hey, that's a good perspective. Yeah. Speaking of Easter, in 2014, my birthday actually was on Easter. And we even went to the Easter Vigil, and like as midnight dawned, we were just like, "Happy Easter birthday, Paul!" And it was just so cool that I was born on Easter. Also, April 3rd. I could have sworn I've heard of that date somewhere before. I can't remember where. Probably was the date of some video game getting released. Also, another thing that's unfortunate about April is that it's usually around the time that Lent is ending. So for me, like, sometimes I'll still be giving something up on my birthday, but usually Lent is like almost over by the time of April. I don't actually have a 2022 calendar yet, so I'll have to look into that. I think one of the downsides to being an April baby for me is more so the fact that there's not a whole lot of other people I know in my family that were born in April besides my niece. So that'll start changing things where I can actually have other people sharing in my joy. Oh, cool. That's so cool that you were born on Easter. That's so neat. Well, I don't know if my actual birthday, like when I out of my mom, was on Easter itself, but I had a birthday on Easter in 2014. Like April 20th, 2014 was the day that Easter Sunday fell on. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, that's really amazing. Hopefully that gives Easter a whole new meaning for you. So, have you actually started your new YouTube channel format yet? Because I've been meaning to look into it. But you had said that you were going to wait a bit, so I guess that caused me to wait a little bit too long. Because I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of games you like. Oh, that's cool. Wait, so you were born in 1994? So that means you're as old as, if that's the case, then that would mean you're as old as Knuckles the Echidna, I think. There's not a whole lot of good games that came out in 1994 that I know of. I think Mario World 2 did, but I wasn't a big fan of Mario World 2. But yeah, as far as games for me, I just beat Deltarune Chapter 2. I actually really liked it a lot. Didn't like a lot of the shipping that they tried to do. I think they tried too hard for that, but apart from that, it was a pretty good game. It was essentially it's just more Deltarune, but that's not a bad thing. Limited to mobile, meaning mobile games that you're reviewing, or that you have to upload off of mobile. Because I don't care what the quality is, as long as what you're trying to say is good. I don't care if it's HD or not. Just make a good video. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, that means you might be able to review Super Mario Run, because that game's on mobile, and from what I heard, it's free. 27. That number is very significant to me. I won't say how, because there are weirdos out there, but yes, the number 27 is holds a special place in my heart. So what mobile games do you like? Ah, that's unfortunate. What I use Windows Movie Maker, but from what I've heard, it's really hard to download a new version of it. So let me pull it up real quick. There's Mini Tool Movie Maker 2 is the software that I sometimes use. It's kind of unreliable. It tends to freeze on me a lot, but it's usually a good backup if my capture card files get corrupted. Hopefully you can get like a friend or someone to show you how to do it. I wish I could help, but I'm barely able to edit as it is. But yeah, I'm curious what kind of mobile games you like, because that's one area of gaming I just never got into. With this kind of phone, yeah, the most I'm playing on this is like Solitaire. Which even then, it's like, I could just get a deck of cards if I really need to play it. Plus, I think I have Solitaire on this computer. Let me double check. Because if I didn't, let's see, where is it? Solitaire. Huh, what do you know? I actually don't have Solitaire on this. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of fan service either. I think when it's used in context, it can be okay. But if it's fan service for the sake of pleasing other people, then that gets really annoying. Like, there's this game coming out that I'm really excited for. It's called Danganronpa S Ultimate Beach Party. And you know that I love swimming. You've probably seen my swimming videos on my channel where I give advice on people who used to be, like, I used to be an aquaphobe. And so in these videos, I gave advice to people who are also aquaphobic. But I also know that some people, especially girls, although guys are guilty of it too, sometimes they use their swimsuits only for sexual attraction and not just to go swimming. That's where I draw the line, because it's like, okay, I get it. Girls' swimsuits are extremely hard to find. But you can also at least try not to make it sexualized. Like, getting back to my game for a minute, Danganronpa S. So it takes place at a beach. So it's like, okay, I get that there's going to be people wearing swimsuits. But then they did the full spreadsheet of what the swimsuits are going to look like in each person. And out of all the girls, in that game, only 2 had one pieces. And so I thought to myself, okay, even if I wasn't averse to overt amounts of fan service, that's just unrealistic, because some of these girls, I feel like they would have more reservations about their body, and so they'd want to have a one piece because they're more sensitive. And then the people that have one pieces are like the villains. So it's like, I would think that they would want to be more sexualized, because one of the people that wears a one piece is usually making inappropriate jokes about her body to begin with. So it's very weird logic. They're probably just like, we want to appeal to thirsty boys. So that's unfortunate. Now, I don't know much about mobile games, but Super Mario Run doesn't have any of that kind of fan service. So you could probably get that. Like, all the girls in that game wear floor-length dresses, so that's like the opposite of fan service. What's your favorite game on mobile, Caitlin? Actually, I will be right back. You can go ahead and type that out. I'm going to get a water. I'm going to get some water in my cup. So let me just pop this in the chat, and I will be right back. Okay, I have returned. Let's see. Games that tell stories in open worlds. I actually really like those kinds of games too. Like, my favorite video game is Breath of the Wild, and my favorite series is Zero Escape. Breath of the Wild has the exploration, Zero Escape has the story. But I didn't know they did that on mobile. Like mobile games have open worlds? I don't know, that's news to me. If you know of a mobile game that's open world, I'd be very curious to hear like what it's like. So on the topic of open worlds, one thing that Tiki always likes to talk about whenever she's on my stream is she always likes to talk about Genshin Impact. Even though I've never played it, it sounds like it's like Breath of the Wild, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to trying if it ever comes on the Switch. Speaking of my Switch, I actually have this third-party Joy-Con that I invested in, because the regular Joy-Cons tend to do what's called drifting, where the stick will move, or like the game will register that the stick's being pushed even when it's not. And so I got this so that it would be have more longevity. But yeah, mobile gaming to me, I always thought it was just those really annoying Angry Birds spin-offs where they're like really arcadey and they're kind of like Pac-Man. I didn't know they were capable of doing like more grand stuff. Well, random games aren't necessarily the worst. Like there was this game I played on the Switch called Jumpin' Joe and Friends, which apparently was converted from the mobile, and I thought it was decent fun. It was a high score grabber, which aren't my favorite kinds of games, but they could be far worse. I think my favorite high score grabber would probably be, I'd have to say Tetris. I actually came in first place in Tetris 99 twice, and I beat, excuse me, and I beat 999 line mode, which, oh my gosh, they were dropping so fast near the end. I don't remember why I was doing it. I think I was like waiting for a game to come out and sort of pass the time. I just grabbed my Switch and I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And I did it. I even remember where I was sitting in my old laundry room, and I just felt so accomplished after I did that. Speaking of which, did you notice that I subtly redecorated my room? I put the Mario and Peach amiibos up on top because I thought to myself, you know what? I think it might be better if I arrange the amiibos on the top shelf based on the games that I really like, and the ones that I only kind of like will be over here. So like Joker, I like Persona 5 Strikers. Dark Samus, I have her just because I'm an amiibo collector. Hero, that's the one from Dragon Quest XI, and I really like Dragon Quest XI. And then, oh my gosh, I'm really having to contort here. Simon and Richter, again, amiibo collector. I'm not really a Castlevania fan. And then Piranha Plant over here, mostly for collecting purposes, but also Piranha Plant can be kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely the most oddball choice to put in Smash out of all the characters, but I kind of like it when they pull those random choices, because then I can go to people who haven't played Smash since the N64 days and just say, like, did you know that they put Piranha Plant in? And they can be like, say what? A plant got in, but Waluigi didn't? Say, that reminds me, Caitlin. Have you played the latest Smash Brothers game? And if so, who would you like to be in it? Because they're going to reveal the final fighter on October 5th, which is 7. Let me double check my calendar. If today's the 28th and it's on the 5th, I think that is 7 days from, that's a week from now. Wow. You notice small details, huh? Yeah, that's kind of like me too, because oh, not a problem. I do typos all the time. And I'm an author too, so that makes it even more embarrassing for me. Like, I'm that person where when I text someone, I will never say things. Whoop. When I text someone, I will never say things like BRB or LOL or any of that. I will like type out haha if I want to laugh. I will type out be right back. And on this kind of phone too. So I think for me, being an author makes me naturally gravitate towards being punctual. I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast for your answers. Oh man, sometimes I just get so excited about the things that I love that it just sort of takes over. Man, gotta love shaky webcams. So, you said you couldn't get into Tetris. Like, do you have a particular reason why you couldn't get into it, or do you think it was just because it was too bland? I know for me, I didn't used to like Tetris, but then Tetris 99 came out, and I think the fact that it had an end goal structure of defeat the others really helped me, because I like games that don't go on forever, as you just heard about my mobile games rant. So yeah, I was, just to reiterate, I was curious, which character would you want in Smash? And even if you don't play Smash, you could just say like, hey, this random character from a mobile game would be cool. And what was it about Tetris that was hard for you to get into? I'm hoping for Neku from The World Ends With You, personally, but I don't think that'll be possible because they already had a Square Enix rep. Oh, voice typing. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that probably explains why your responses come a bit slower. I see. Yeah. Well, if you need me to not talk as much, if you need me to just, if you need me to wait longer for you to respond to things and just say like, Paul, shut up so I can respond, I won't take it personally. I won't say that it's rude. I would rather have people be honest to me than try to spare my feelings, but yet be lying when they do it. Because you know what they say, if it's not the truth, it's from the devil. You know, I'm just noticing how I've got so much loose, wispy hair at the ends that I could technically brag that my hair is getting longer, but I can't totally brag at the same time because the part you can actually see is only down to here, whereas the wisps are down to here. So I don't think most people consider that counting. So I didn't even get a chance to see what you retracted, so I guess you can be happy about that. Yeah, I think that's a good motto to have. Yeah, the way I word it to my friends is I compare it to a bandage. If you like have a bandage over a part of your body that has hair on it and you rip it off quickly, of course that's going to hurt. But if you rip it off slowly, it's going to hurt even more. So I say, if you have to hurt me, do the ripping it off fast so I can get the pain over with, as opposed to slowly drawing it out. Because if you tell me the truth and it hurts, then that's one hurt. But if you tell me the truth and lie, then that's a double hurt. And so then you're actually making the pain worse, because then I'm trying to have to figure out what you didn't tell me. And then that fear of uncertainty is itself going to become a problem to me. And thank you for the second like, whoever it was. I'm always so overly critical of these streams, so it's very nice when people appreciate what I do. Oh wow, 3 likes. Who are the invisible people on this stream? Well, whoever you are, if you want to just listen, you're totally welcome to me. But you know what they say about likes? They say it's like, there you are, Furum Industries. I should have known it would be someone like you. You are one of my biggest fans, after all. Thanks again for the slogan. I'm so glad you could show up. What's been going on with you lately? I was just telling Caitlin and Tiki earlier that one of my biggest pieces of news is that The original, this necklace ruins it. The original Banjo-Kazooie is finally coming to the Switch via an updated plan, and that's just been like one of the biggest pieces of news for me. But also that I made a new friend recently, and it's been getting harder to meet people that are closer to me that I can consider age-appropriate friends. Now, I'm being very, very specific here because I like to go swimming, and of course, going to the local pool means that I'm gonna like see the same faces and be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Insert name here that I don't want to because they're minors, and that's the problem is I really can't say minors are friends, but I can't say they're enemies either. So I'm put in this really odd position where I have to be very careful about what I say because, oh my gosh, people freak out if you even say hi to minors sometimes. And that's where I wish society would be more like find a way to tell the difference between people who actually want to hurt minors versus people that are just naturally friendly. I don't know. I wish there was more of a distinction. But I also don't know how you would go about making something like that happen. You were somewhat sane. That's pretty funny. Sorry it took so long to respond to that. I guess my brain took a while to catch up to how funny that statement was. So, how's the progress going on the... Because, you know, I asked you on Discord if you were still going to do the, like, compiling my funny moments and making it into a meme video. Did you still remember that? Is it still, like, taking a while? Also, Caitlin, I know you said you didn't like fan service, but does that mean that you're opposed to any kind of skin showing, or do you just not like it when things are overly sexual? Because I don't like it when things are overly sexual either. But I also know that God made people the way that they are. And if we disapprove of how God made things, then we're saying that God made a mistake. And I'm not particularly fond of that train of reasoning. I prefer to say God made everyone and everything beautiful, but sinful nature can distort what God intended to be good. That's my perspective on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd like to think that that's what the church teaches. No, wait a minute. Yeah, I know what you mean, Caitlin. I have a game that's like that. It's called Fire Emblem Fates, and there's this particular girl. Her name is Camilla, and man, her body is ridiculously disproportionate. And what's even worse is that she's flirting with her own sibling. So not only is she disturbingly like no girl would actually look like that without surgery, but she's also just downright creepy. Game group and yeah, hey, you know what? I'd rather you take your time rather than do a rushed project. So do whatever you need to do and don't feel forced. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good Halloween. I'm not really the dressing up kind of guy. Like, I have sensitive skin, so everything that I wear has to be very carefully tailored so that I'm not like getting too stuffed or too itchy, because like certain brands of soap I can't handle, certain styles of clothing I can't handle. Like, I can't wear jeans anymore because jeans used to give me really bad rashes on my legs. So I don't think I've worn jeans since I was like 10 because it just got to be so bad. I also just don't like wearing jeans in general. Like, back when I used to wear them, I thought they were too constricting. I like to wear shirts that I can breathe in. So like this one is relatively light. I mean, it's a bit smaller than most of my t-shirts, but like down here in my drawer, I'll show you the kind of t-shirt I prefer. So you've got this one, my Epic shirt. You guys have seen this on numerous occasions. This is like so light that it feels like it's like air. And so I guess you could say like it feels like I'm not wearing a shirt, but I am, and that's really cool. Yeah, you need to be able to have your hair just right, and you need to have the right clothes, and you need to go to the right, you need to be in the right place at the right time, because if you're not at a Comic-Con, then people might make fun of you. Do you cosplay at all, Caitlin? Because I'd be really interested to see what kind of costumes a Catholic cosplayer would do, because like you said, so many of them are overly sexualized that I'd like to see just a costume. So, what was I going to say? So, Firam, I have some potentially good news. Potentially. Very, very underlined. But, yo, Adam, perfect timing. I was about to tell Firam some great news, and you'll probably like this news too. But there is a possibility that I might be able to come back to Catholic Heart. Now, it's a small possibility at the moment, but I talked to my group leader, and she said that she's going to look into Catholic Heart's 2022 dates, and she's going to see if it conflicts with her family vacation. So in other words, she didn't outright say no. She said, I am going to look into it. So assuming I get the job that I want, or if I get any job at all, because moving to this new county has been a huge pain in the neck with regards to getting a job, but assuming I get good employment, I fully plan on returning to Catholic Heart. Where we go, I have no idea. Probably won't be back to Morganton because Julie likes to go to a different camp every year. She only repeated Catholic Heart once in all the years that she did it. I wasn't at either one of them, but every single Catholic Heart that I've been to has been at a different place. So that means that if you take all of the camps and do the mathematical numbers for it, there is a chance that if you guys return to the camp in any capacity, you may see me again. And in case you're thinking, oh, but Paul, we're old now. Well, they actually allow people from ages upcoming ninth graders all the way up to the age of 20 to go. So even if you're out of high school, but you're like just barely in college, you may still be able to go. And in my case, I'm able to still go because I go in a chaperoning capacity. So that works out really well for me. Well, don't put it this way. Wherever we decide to go is not going to be my decision. In fact, it's going to be even less of my decision than it was in the past because I live a lot farther away from the youth leader than I used to. In fact, in years prior, I actually did an online petition to have us return to the camp that I went to on my very first mission trip. It didn't happen. So wherever we end up going, if I run into you guys again, it would be either a combination of either extremely dumb luck versus God just wanting it to happen. But there have been years where I've run into groups from previous camps before. Like I ran into the Minnesota people twice. I ran into the Pennsylvania people twice. So it can happen. Wait. When you say cosplay in an avatar-based social media game, do you mean like you're on a social media where you post pictures of yourself cosplaying, or do you like, are you a video game character that cosplays? Because man, I don't think I would be good at cosplaying at all. So I'm just really impressed that you can cosplay in any capacity. Yeah, Caitlin, you should if you have pictures of your cosplays, like tag me in them on Twitter so that I can see them. Speaking of which, have the rest of you ever cosplayed? Like, what are your plans for dressing up for Halloween? And hey, if we never meet up at another camp, at least we have YouTube and at least we have Discord and all that. So it's not, it doesn't have to be farewell. And honestly, if I'm being real with you guys, being a chaperone at Catholic Heart is so, I mean, I'm not going to pretend that it's a walk in the park, because there are definitely some trying moments, especially if you get a questionable work team, but it's actually really easy. All you really have to do is just be responsible with your work team. And if you're confused about anything, just ask the camp staff. They're usually really good at answering your questions. Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's still really good that you can dress up your avatar in different costumes. That's always been one of my favorite things about a lot of the video games that I like especially Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It gives you the ability to put on different suits of armor, and I try to see like what looks the coolest on me. And I just think it's really cool when games give you dress up options. When you say a clone, do you mean one of the clones from Star Wars, or do you mean, well, I guess there aren't really any other clones I can think of, unless if you cloned yourself. But then if you wanted to dress up as a clone of yourself, wouldn't that just be, you just gave me an idea. If people ask me, Paul, what are you dressing up as for Halloween? I'll say, I'm dressing up as a clone of myself. So they can just look at me and say, oh, you cloned yourself, which means that you are yourself, because yourself would look like you. Wow. Why, hello there. Good to see you too, my friend, JP. See, I know a little bit of Spanish. A very little bit. But it's better than not knowing anything. So JP, you missed the potentially good news that I just told the other folks. I said that there is a slim possibility, not very large, so don't get your hopes up too much, but a slim possibility that I might be going back to Catholic Art Work Camp, because I called up my youth leader and I said, do you mind if I come back as a chaperone? And her response was, actually, I can pull up her exact words so that you guys can hear it for yourselves. Let's see here. I have it somewhere around here. Here we go. So she responded. Okay, so here's what I said. I said, I was wondering if Sacred Heart is still doing a mission trip in 2022, and if so, would you like me to be a chaperone? She responded, hi, Paul. As of right now, that has not been determined. I am waiting to see what CHWC's dates will look like in 2022 and compare that to small window of availability next summer. I have a long postponed family vacation I am taking next July, so I am not sure what will be taking place. In other words, not a hard no. Oh, that would have been so cool to see on your old channel, Caitlin, because I always love seeing people express themselves. Yeah, so that means there's a possibility I may be able to meet up with you guys again. A small possibility. Very small, but a possibility nonetheless. I'm almost done, guys. Alrighty, I gotta get going, guys, because my family just came back and I gotta eat dinner, but it was good seeing you all. Thank you so much for all the likes on my stream. I'm glad you guys showed up for as long as you did. Caitlin, try to tag me in your pictures if you have any on Twitter, because I'd really like to see some of the stuff that you've done. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and sorry to end it prematurely, but dinner calls. Bye for now.